Here's the truth. Some friendships are not meant to last a lifetime, and that's okay, but it doesn't make it hurt any less. So let's talk about a way and how you can actually deal with friendship breakups and come out protecting your peace instead of spiraling, and also help you notice the signs that a friendship may have run its course. Here's the first step is self-awareness. Ask yourself questions like, how do I feel after I spend time with this person? Do I feel energized or depleted? Do I feel uplifted or brought down? Do I feel seen or do I feel judged? I have so many experiences with this in my 30 plus years of life. And the two that really stand out to me that I didn't even notice this until afterwards when I looked back at these friendships is that they were not making me feel good about myself. One example was a girl that I had been friends with for a while, and we had a mutual friend group. We met in college, and I always had fun hanging out with her. We would go party and we would do like lunches and dinners together, always as a group. But something I started noticing, she usually had some negative things to say about my body for no reason, just bringing up my weight and saying things like, oh, it must be so nice to be able to eat whatever you want. Oh, you're a size small, must be nice. And making comments on things that I ate and all of this stuff when I never commented on my body or her body or anybody else's body, because that's just something I avoid doing. It always made me so uncomfortable. And after we would hang out and she would make a comment like that, I would just be sitting in my car, driving home and wondering, why did she feel the need to make a comment like that? Why is she always talking about my body when I'm not even bringing it up? Like, I'm just sitting here being myself, just trying to have fun and hang out with my friends. And then all of a sudden she makes some sort of comment on my body. Naturally, shouldn't be surprising, we are not really friends anymore. And it's just not like there was a big fallout or anything like that. It's just over the course of a few years, I just started hanging out with her less and less. And afterwards, once I've reflected and I started learning more about EQ and the types of friendships I want in my life, I realized this was a person that didn't really bring me up. When I hung out with her, she was always making me feel uncomfortable, making me feel bad about my body when I never made any comment on her body. And it was something that I never even really thought about. Like, I don't go around looking at people's bodies and critiquing them because it's not my business. And so that was one example. And another example was I had a friend back in the day that used to love gossiping about everyone, her own friends, random strangers that she knew nothing about. And one thing that you need to know is that if you have a friend that gossips about everybody else in your friend group or about other people, trust me, you're not the exception. You are not special, and that person they just gossip about everybody else, but they would never talk that way about me. Yeah, they do. I am pretty confident that they do. And I learned this the hard way. So trust me on that. And so she would always feel the need to gossip about people and talk about other people and make assumptions about them, even if she didn't really know them. At first, I thought, okay, this is just something girlfriends do. And at the time, I was insecure and I had a lot of self-image issues. And so I partook in gossiping too. I am guilty of it as well. Like, I used to do it a lot in my early 20s. So I joined in. But the truth is, after I started working on my self-confidence and learning more about emotional intelligence, it started to feel icky. Like, I always felt bad. I didn't want to gossip and talk about these people that I don't really know. And I remember there was one day at a party where this ex-friend was pointing out this random girl at the pool that, again, total stranger, and making comments on her body and what she was wearing and how ridiculous she looked and all of this stuff. And a lot of the other girls started joining in. And I remember I was kind of sitting aside and I'm like, I don't like this. This isn't cute. Like, it's not cool. I'm not going to participate in this at all. And that's when I realized, like, oh, I think I don't fit like this friendship circle anymore. And I started distancing myself from her and the other mutual friends that we had that were gossipers. And again, from my experience, somebody who gossips is not somebody who accepts or loves themselves, who is happy and content in their life and feeling fulfilled. People who I have met and that I know and my current friends don't gossip because they don't feel the need to bring others down and tear others down in order to make themselves feel better for just a small few minutes of the day. So your emotions are like a dashboard. If you feel demotivated, negative, unhappy, sad, drained after hanging out with a friend, that is your body and your mind telling you that this is not good for you. This isn't helping you. This isn't uplifting you. This isn't a friend that is supportive. And this friendship is just draining your life force. So don't ignore those warning lights. And if you've recently gone through a friendship breakup and you're kind of going through the whole grieving cycle, been there, done that. Try to remind yourself of that and look back like maybe this friendship had already run its course. And then in your current friendships and future friendships, always remind yourself that. Always take a look inside and see how you feel when you hang out with certain people. If it's not uplifting you, then it's bringing you down. Next, friendship standards. Everybody always asks about relationship standards, but when was the last time you thought about what standards you have for your friendships? Emotional intelligence isn't just about regulating your own emotions, but it's also about knowing the quality of people that you choose to let into your life and into your inner circle. So, do you have friendship standards? Do you actually know what they are? Here's my checklist. Do they celebrate my wins or get weirdly quiet when I succeed? Do I trust them? Can I open up to them and not feel judged? Do I feel safe to be my full, complete, authentic self? Or do I have to shrink myself to keep the peace? For me, it's a non-negotiable for friendships that I need to feel safe within them. I need to be able to be myself and be able to open up without fear of judgment and ridicule. I can confidently say that right now in my life, no, I don't have like 60 plus friends because I've realized that quality is so much more important than quantity. I would rather have a small group of friends that I know I can truly be myself with, who are supportive, who celebrate my wins, and who let me help them celebrate their wins as well, than have like 60 plus friends that are superficial, that I don't really know much about them. They don't really talk to me about themselves or anything that's going on in their lives. I remember in my early 20s, I had a lot of party friends that were just superficial. And I don't mean that in a bad way. At that time, I wanted to have friends that I could just go out and party with and go to the club or go get drinks and laugh and joke and talk about a whole bunch of random crap. But at this point of my life, I would rather have a small group that we can talk about our feelings, like things that we're going through, our dreams, our passions, and support each other and be there for each other when somebody is going through something. Like, I don't want my friends to shy away from opening up and talking about tough things that they're going through. That's how I see friendships. We're there to support each other and uplift each other. And that's not only during the good and fun times, but during the hard times as well. It's very important to me that my friends meet that criteria in a way, in the sense that we're always going to be there for each other through the good and the bad, and we don't shy away from being honest with each other, but also supporting each other in times of need. And listen, I've learned this the hard way, which is why if you're going through a friendship breakup, I feel for you, because I've been there, and honestly, it's hurt more than some romantic breakups for me, because this was somebody who wasn't with you romantically or because they expected something out of you, but somebody who was, support, who was there for you through thick and thin, so many memories together. And I had a friend that I was really close with for several years who started distancing herself from me. And at the time, it drove me nuts because I couldn't identify why. And she was acting at the time, whenever I would bring anything up to her, like everything was fine, that, she was just busy and all of this stuff. And then I found out through mutual friends that there were things that she wasn't being honest to me about, that she was lying to me about, and it really hurt. Guys, like, I remember several nights crying about it to Ben, who is my fiance, and him having to, walk me through it and be supportive, because I'm like, this has been like almost a decade-long friendship and I don't know what I did. I feel like I haven't done anything except be supportive, and now I feel this person pulling away and also lying to me about things, and it just really hurts, especially since I never hid anything from her. And it crushed me. So what did I do? I tried to force it. I kept pushing to hang out, even though we didn't hang out as frequently as we used to. But eventually I had to admit to myself, we had just grown apart. We weren't in alignment anymore. And I realized, like, this new group of friends that she was hanging out with, we didn't have anything in common. There was a lot of gossiping going around, which, like I had said, it's something that I just didn't feel comfortable with anymore. So I just had to distance myself from her. And it was a very hard decision and it hurt. But looking back, I can still enjoy the memories that we had together. We had amazing times, a lot of crazy nights when we used to go clubbing in college. And I still, like, a part of me still misses her and I still wish her the best. And, it's not like I'm sitting here stewing and holding a grudge. No, we just drifted apart and we were no longer in alignment anymore. And I realized she wasn't meeting the values that I expect in my friendships. And that's okay. It's not fair to either party if you guys aren't in alignment anymore. So it's best for both people to just walk away, just like in any relationship. And you know what? Something that you just need to learn is that sometimes people don't owe you an explanation. You're not always going to get one. And you have to make peace with that. Sometimes the friendship just stops fitting. And that doesn't mean either of you failed. It just means your standards shifted, and that's growth. So once you realize a friendship has run its course, or maybe you're going through a friendship breakup and it's time to let go, this is where EQ really flexes. Self-regulation. Detachment isn't about being cold. It's about protecting your peace. It's emotional Teflon in a way. Drama just slides right off and it doesn't stick, if that makes sense. One tool that helps me is journaling. I know a lot of people say it. Oh, you should journal your feelings, your thoughts, but they say it because it works, at least in my experience. When you miss a friend, you may tend to romanticize and only focus on all of the good stuff, but maybe you're missing the red flag, like some of the ones that I mentioned previously. And I had a tendency to do that too in any relationship, right? We can romanticize all of the good while kind of just going like this when it comes to the red flags, like, oh, I didn't see that. Was that a red flag? I didn't see it. So it might be beneficial to write out what you actually want in a friend, going back to what are your friendship standards, but like, what is a friend that you are looking for? What do you see in that person? Supportive, kind, secure, accepting, fun, adventurous, whatever it is, write it down and journal it. And if you've let go of a friend too, maybe you're the one who initiated the friendship breakup and you might be regretting it, go back to that list and remind yourself, oh, this is why that friendship didn't work, because this is what I'm actually looking for in a friend. And this person wasn't in alignment with that. And that's not saying that you're better than them. Like I said, it's just a lack of alignment. One of you changed or both of you changed and your values are completely different now and you may not have anything in common. That's why it's totally okay to walk away from a friendship sometimes. And listen, not everything that you lose is a loss. Let me repeat that. Not everything that you lose is a loss. This is about remembering your worth And your worth isn't defined by who stays in your life, whether that's a romantic relationship or the amount of friends you have. You are worthy regardless of the quantity of friends that you have in your life. And it's always better to lose friends that are not supportive of you and that are bringing you down, and being by yourself and having a smaller group that actually supports you, because those are your people. Those are the people who will celebrate you, who will give you that space to be yourself. And just remember to be kind to yourself, right? We can start blaming ourselves. And it's like, was it something that I did? If you're going through a friendship breakup, like, did I say something? Am I not a good friend? Am I not lovable? Do people not like me? Blah, blah, blah. You can go down that rabbit hole, but is that going to help you heal? Is that going to help you move forward? No. It's important to feel your emotions. It's important to grieve and let that out. But creating a story in your head without any facts isn't helping you either. That's just going to make you spiral, right? Like I said, not every breakup is going to have an explanation. Most of my friendships, I never got an explanation when we broke up. We just slowly drifted apart over time. And then looking backwards, I'm like, oh, I get why it didn't work out. We were just not in alignment anymore. So it's really important to be kind to yourself while you're healing from any type of breakup. But let's keep it real. Even after you detach, it can still get a little lonely, right? You're losing this person, especially if it's a friend that you've had in your life for a really long time. It's like all of a sudden this person who was part of so many memories of your life, who was there for you, is just gone, nowhere to be found anymore. And you know that you can't go to them for anything either. Loneliness can feel terrifying. I get it. But here is an EQ reframe. Loneliness can be an invitation. It's where you can learn to become your own best friend and also find new people who are in alignment with you. It's not a loss. It's an opportunity for a gain. This is really important, especially if you're trying to heal or go through a self-love journey as well while you're dealing with a friendship breakup. When you start loving your own company, future friendships don't fill a hole. They add to your life. That's the difference between codependency and actual connection. And that is so important to make that distinction. When I didn't love myself, when I was my biggest hater, I was very codependent on my friendships. My friendships were a way for me to validate myself, for me to confirm that I am loved, that I am wanted. So imagine when a friendship didn't work out, or it was toxic, or a friend made me upset. How do you think I dealt with that? I was spiraling. I'm like, oh gosh, maybe I'm not worthy. Maybe people don't love me. Maybe I'm a loser, blah, blah, blah. It is not good. Codependency and a toxic friendship do not go well together. So friendship breakups are a good way to connect with yourself again. Connect with yourself, figure out what's important to you, what are your values, enjoying your own company, and opening up the space as well when you're ready to welcome new friendships into your life, but welcoming them, knowing what standards you want in a friendship, knowing what your values are, and making sure that the people that you're trying to attract into your life as a friend are in alignment with those values. Like, if one of my top values is honesty, should I be with somebody who doesn't value honesty in any sort of relationship? Probably not. That's a recipe for disaster. And once you have that open space in your life and you know the type of friendships you want, that's how you attract your tribe, the people who actually accept you for who you are, and you can show up as your true authentic self, as opposed to just trying to fit in order to be accepted. And trust me, when you get picky with your energy, the right people will find you. It's like clearing out your closet, right? You can't make space for new clothes. if you're still holding on to these outfits that aren't even you anymore, that are from like 10 years ago, and it's like, I'm not going to wear those low-rise jeans anymore. That's what I used to wear in high school. Why am I trying to make this work again? This is not my style. It's the same thing with friendships. You outgrew them. You need to make more space in order to welcome the people that are right for you. And yeah, it sucks. I've told you, I've spent many nights crying and wondering about friendships that didn't work out. But I can honestly say, even with the friendships I've lost, the ones that I've gained afterwards are so much more fulfilling and supportive to me than they ever were. Like my friendship circle right now, I know that I can go to any of them for anything. And they also know that if they're going through something and they need support, I am only a call away. And that is night and day from some of my friendships in my early 20s, where I felt like I had a lot of friends, but I felt like none of them really know me. And I felt like I had multiple personalities because I couldn't really be myself around all of them. And I felt like I had to shrink myself in some instances in order to fit the mold of that friendship group, because I didn't feel like I would be welcomed if I was my awkward, weird self. So yeah, friendship breakups hurt, but they also clear space for better friendships in your life. And I know it hurts right now, and it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel because you may just be focusing on the grief and the good moments that you had with these friends, which are still important and those should be cherished. Just because you're no longer friends doesn't mean that it was a waste, because any relationship in our life, romantic, familial, friendships, whatever they may be, they always teach us something about others and about ourselves. You don't have to pretend that this friendship never happened and block it out from your memory. You can still celebrate the heartwarming moments that you had with them, but then also recognize that you guys just aren't a fit anymore, and that's okay, because you will find people that fit with you. And that's even more exciting than holding on to a friendship just because you guys have been friends a long time, even though you guys have nothing in common anymore, or just because you want somebody to be able to hang out with last minute. Trust me, it's so much more rewarding to be in friendships that uplift you and that see you for who you are. And if you're ready to also learn how to attract high value, supportive friendships that make an impact in your life and that you actually deserve, then you should watch my next video, which is the Ultimate Friendship Guide, where I talk about the key to lasting, strong friendships. I'll meet you there soon. Love you.